Welcome to Somebody's Heroes. We are here tonight with we're just gonna do a fun little vignette for Conrad here. It should be a fun little time finding out who he is and why he is who he is. I'm Eric, I'm the Dungeon Master.
I'm Sprinkle. I'm the star of this vignette, if you want to call me a star. But it's going to be a bumpy ride, y'all, so buckle in.
Buckle up, Buttercup.
And hi everyone, I'm Sean. You can find me at Help Action Needed all across the internet, and I'll be playing Sylvain. He's just here. Why? That's for everyone to figure out.
He exists.
So we are going to start. The camera is going to start at the mouth of a volcano. It's going to pan in and through a labyrinthine tunnels. You're going to see a bunch of demons. You're going to see Baylors and rocks and all kinds of demons all over the place. And off of the left, you're going to see a jail cell. As sitting in that cell is... Well, I'll let you describe him, Sprinkle. What does Zartair look like?
So, Zartair is a mountain of a demon, or Cambion, whichever you choose. About 6'7", about a swimmer's build, has the toned muscles, about 285 pounds, solid. He's from the military. He's going to be well-rounded. That's one reason why he's here. Military bullshit. But he has two protruding horns in the very front, going upwards, with two horns protruding from the side of the temple, curving alongside of the scalp, and then coming backwards. He is a variation of crimson and violet. So it's pretty. Which is one reason why he always had to put people in their places, being in the military. He has dark crystal blue sapphire-like eyes with pure black surrounding them. He has his beard comes down into a point, very Viking-esque, along with the haircut. So it's faded on the sides, short and spiky on the top. Silver hair with a very hint of bluish hue. He usually, depending on if he's in downtime with the military or if he's ready for actual fighting, it's a variation of leather and scale mail. But being in here, he's going to have a set of midnight scale mail armor on, with a cloak across his back. He will be decked out with a belt with tools on them, which usually throws people off, along with a warhammer at his side and a pistol on the other. A rudimentary pistol at that.
Fantastic. So, as you sit there and mull over in your head the events of the last week or so, the last time you saw her, a pair of Naufeshni come up to the cell doors. They're probably about 12 foot tall, big, brutish looking, like boar demons. They've got the two tusks that come right out of their actual mouth, and then two more that come out around here, right under their eyes, right at their cheekbones, just come out and go up. They've got a pair of wings on the back, similar to your own demonic wings. And then the bottom half of them is a boar with the rest of their body fitting that like boarish shape. So very big, very heavy set, with like a couple of shoulder pauldrons and then some chains going across their body. They both open these cells and say, "Oh, the Prince of Undead! Come with us. It's time for your father to appropriately punish you for your crimes." As they both come over, they pick you up, 2 hands on each arm, and lift you up just off your feet and carry you out the door.
He's going to bite his tongue because his initial response would be, "I'll show you what undead looks like." But not this time. He will just mull it in his brain and go peacefully.
For now. Okay, so he is going to go ahead and be pulled out and dragged down. You're weaved through. The camera is following you as you're being weaved through these labyrinthine tunnels. Meanwhile, a crowd is forming. And Sylvain, you actually were sent an invitation under a name that is not Sylvain.
Never would be.
What name would this have been that you would have received a message from Orcus himself?
Oh, I believe if it's coming directly from someone here, it'd be addressed to Gemini. A beautiful tiefling who has spent the past several years living and walking amongst the tieflings of the Demon's Tale and trying to make their acquaintances known, trying to see what's going on, as we must always be friendly with our neighbors, no?
Of course. So it said, Gemini, we would, on behalf of Orcus, the Crimson Blood, and then you see all of his other titles below it. His laundry list of titles. Just, we would love to invite you to witness firsthand what it means when a tiefling as yourself dares to love one of our own, and how we punish our own for such atrocities. And that it's signed with the symbol of Orcus, which is this goat skull with the horns.
This Gemini would never send a response back. Too much paperwork that can be tracked, but they'll show up. They'll hold the invitation.
It's also been a while for that Gemini's been Gemini. Like,
yeah.
Sylvain has not been Gemini in a few years.
Yeah.
This is only 6 years before the start of the campaign.
Yeah. The interesting part, though, is Gemini never died.
Correct. Which is why Gemini still got mail. You've got mail. But
AIM messenger.
that's been a long time. So as you accept this invitation, do you choose to attend, I presume, yes?
I'll be attending, I just will not be writing back in acceptance.
Of course. So you made your way in. They let you in because you're wearing a symbol of some kind that makes them think you're Gemini, but you're just in some kind of a cloak to hide your current form. And they let you in, and the seats are mostly open, but it's in like an amphitheater. So the throne of Orcus is down below you. It's a 12-foot tall throne itself, with a mound of skulls and bones, with lava and fire as a fall behind the throne. So his throne backs to this lava flow, and you just see fire spit up every so often. Do you choose to take a seat on the left, the right? Where would you like to have a seat for this
Wherever
spectacle?
The least amount of attention is drawn, but where there's still a direct line of sight to the throne, and where I imagine the princeling will be making an appearance, trying to keep them within 60 feet as much as possible in case someone tries to go after my... Well, it'd be rude to call a living being a backup plan, but that's what they are.
Perfect. So you're let's say third row, still on the like end cap. So like because the only way in and out of here is through this main road, through the main path in. So you're on the end, which still keeps you 60 feet from what looks like an executioner's block has been set up in the middle. It's this bony block of, honestly, it's just a giant block of carved bone with a 16-foot axe that itself has an 8-foot blade, ready to take out most anyone who fucking they dare to kill. And it's just laying on the ground. In fact, you see the executioner going over and grabbing a whetstone to go sharpen the blade real quick.
Well, they better make it fast if they're choosing violence.
And at this point, you see these Nilfeshni dragging in Zartair. They stand him in front of this pedestal, the chopping block that I described. And descending from the sky, you see Orcus. Full adornment with the ram's head skull on his face, with the extra horns. He's got he's got 4 tusks, just like the Nilfeshni. He looks very boar-like, but you know the difference. You've seen him once or twice before, but he's got this pair of 30-foot wingspan bat wings, and he stands 18 feet tall. His cloven hooves make the sound as he lands and crushes a couple of bones under his feet. He's got the staff of the wand of Orcus in one hand, which just looks like a femur of a creature, a very, very large creature, very large femur with a skull attached to it that looks like a quad-horned tiefling skull. And he just lands very heavily. The ground rumbles a little bit, and everyone erupts in cheers. Orcus! Hurrah! As they applaud their king, for lack of a better term, their king here on the material plane. They're cheering for him and so happy. Orcus takes that wand, stands sideways, and points it straight at Conrad. Points it straight at Zartair and says, "My son. My
Father.
son. You dare to love one of them. Those deal-making, deal-keeping of all things. Treacherous devilkin. Those tieflings, as they're called here. You dare love one of them.
It's funny that you talk about treachery. It's also funny that you sit there and belittle another race when you're the incarnate of absolute distaste and distrust.
He laughs from his, and his form is very large, like a very, like, I'm trying to picture it in my head, like Andre the Giant build. So he's built, he's muscular, but he's got that layer of fat over top of it. That's that little bit of a dad bod.
Kind of like the piggy orcs, but like belly.
Mm-hmm. Little bit. And he just, well, Sartire Blood Ruin. That's the name you've chosen, yes? Blood Ruin? Ha!
Fitting for the Bloodlord's heir, don't you think?
It is. It is indeed. However, you, son of Undeath, the son of the Undying One, son of the Crimson Blood, the son of Iker, son of the Horned Lord, as he reaches up and rubs his horn for a second. And of course, let us not forget, son of the Midnight Shadow, as he fans his wings back out, casting a shadow over the entire crowd. He drops them back and says, now, the penalty for your crime of, some would say passion, but I would say treachery, is no less than, and you hear the crowd start shouting, death, 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 kill him, just throughout, like various people saying various words. Before Orcus continues, Sylvain, do you say or do anything?
I have no reason to yet.
Perfect.
You'll hear Zartair yell out as loudly as possible to the crowd. I'd like to see any one of you try, since most of you have my prosthesis and has kept you alive.
Half the crowd quiets down. Because they know you're speaking the truth.
You're here because of me. And you talk about loyalty, trust, treachery, coming from the Lord of it.
But of course, I am known for it.
And I've already beaten you, Father, because I've done the one thing you can't.
And that is?
I actually feel a connection with another being, instead of just looking at them as playthings. All 9 hells will freeze over before that happens with you.
I would happily bring the frost myself. As he just across his fingers, you see this icy flame of chill touch cross over his fingers as his hand turns to a skeleton. Well, then I know your punishment. He walks over and frosts the other hand in the same chill touch. Goes over, grabs both of your wings, and just immediately upon touching them, they start to decay the membrane starts to fizzle between them, leaving nothing but the bone. And then eventually the bone just slowly starts to become dust and fall away as Orcus puts his hands and pushes against your back. On your back now, where your wings were, you have 2 handprints.
Probably skeletal, bony as hell.
Of course. Of Orcus, but of course, like you said, bony skeletal Orcus handprints. And he just... Now, you are nothing more than they are.
I welcome
How do
it.
you feel?
Like my last name suggests, I will bring absolute ruin to you. Not a single layer of hell, nor the deepest, darkest recess of this plane or the next. You will not escape me. I will find you, and I will crush you and ruin everything you hold in earnest and dear.
He circles back around, crouches down, and gets on his knee and looks you dead in the eyes. He gets about 3 feet away from you. The Nelfeshni let go, because this doesn't fucking happen, and when it does, it's fucking terrifying, and they fucking know better than to be anywhere near what's about to happen here. So they let go. Your arms are free. Your movement is entirely yours. He says, "Then bring it, big boy," as he slaps his belly and stands up. "I'm right here."
I'll even take a step closer and come about 1.5 feet. Look up at him and snort. You think I'm that level of inept? Just wait. I'm gonna have plenty of tricks up my sleeve, and I'm gonna be a bigger, bloodier version of you. But I'm actually gonna have a heart.
Now that I'd like to see. Get this trash out of here. And never again is he to set foot in these lands.
Can I do one thing as a reaction?
Absolutely.
Just to piss him off, but it's not gonna be to him. I'm gonna grab my pistol and shoot the nearest guard next to me in the face.
Oh, okay.
As a reaction to that, you'll see, and having shifted a moment ago, only being Gemini to get in, Sylvain is now sitting in the crowd under a hood. Conrad, or whatever name you're currently going by, you'll see as you go to shoot, just flying out at almost supersonic speed, a giant dragon about 15 feet tall, floating in the sky right in front of you. Doesn't seem to do anything, but is acting as a shield to everyone around you, anywhere you go. It's going in between your gun and them, and you just see it giving you a look that will both communicate at the same time, follow my gaze, and also, do you really want to do that?
At least I had the smarts not to do it to him. This guard means nothing.
Make your choice.
Give me one good reason why I shouldn't. If I'm going to die, I might as well die in battle.
Because, Princeling, you do not have that choice. I need you alive, and I need you to come with me, alive. If you get exiled, we can go quietly. If you get killed, it's a lot harder on my end. I'd very much rather it be not hard. It's been a long day.
Zartair will sit there and take about 20 seconds to mull it over. He'll look back. I'll go on one condition. At the end of it all, somewhere, somehow on this journey, you help me find the way or create the way to destroy him.
Gladly. What do you think your backup plan for?
He'll holster his pistol at his hip again and spit towards his father's feet as he heads towards the dragon.
Huh?
Equishay, I knew you were here.
You did send me an invite. It's not that hard.
You.
And then as he's saying that, that spectral dragon will just come back, no longer floating out there.
Cracks his knuckle. Well, boys, I think we know where we're going.
You're welcome to try. I'd like to remind you right now you are strong, yes, but you are severely outnumbered.
If what you want is this pup, take him and get out of here!
Gladly. And anyone near him, I don't know if we can mechanically do this, but I think it'd be fun. As the change happens, just anyone going from, Sylvain is tall, not quite as tall as Conrad, but tall, going from a 6-foot draconic human to a 15-foot dragon. As wings burst out, a tail comes out. I believe anyone around him would have quite a hard time. And you see at the speed of essentially a jet, just a dragon go up, grab you by the collar, the scruff, whatever he can, and out of there quickly. Anyone looking would only grasp the smallest glint of light, as though it's catching off of the side of some metallic atom, or as a wing flares open, the black night sky being absorbed into every movement of the wing fluttering by. And you would just hear, "You were smart for once. Welcome, backup plan. What would you like to do?"
Well, now that I don't have that eyesore of a father to look at anymore, the next thing I want to do is go find my beloved. Hells know whether or not he's sent somebody after her.
Oh, trust me, I know far more than the Hells. Who is it we're looking for?
Her name is Vexia Tiefling. A beautiful one at that.
Sounds familiar, but there are so many tieflings. I can get you an answer, though. But first, I think we need to get you safe. This might be my region, but your father, dumb as he is, constantly tries to take it over, and if I'm going to have my backup plan, I need to have them safe at the start. By the way, Princeling, what should I call you? I feel backup plan is not good grounds for a long-term relationship.
And at this point, he'll sit there and ask you, since his horns are black, to break off the ends of them. And if you fill that request, he'll come up with Conrad Shadowhorn.
Wonderful. And then, unless our DM has anything to insert here, I believe, I would take you to the nearest point, which from here, it's for the speed at which Sylvain can fly, does not take long to at least get to the mainland, in which we'll have to start.
You're already on the main. The demon realm of Daemoya is on the mainland, so you just fly a little further west. You whiz in and out because it's fun. Mm-hmm. You whiz in between some karsts going through the karst lands. Plus anything that might be on your tail. You've seen people exiled before.
Mm-hmm.
They're exiled, but bounties are put on them to return with their head, their horns, their skull back to join the throne.
Mm-hmm.
And
another reason to break these god-awful horns off.
One
less thing to be related to him.
You do see about a dozen, because it's you coming after him, and with him, a dozen Vrock are just chasing you through not even their lands. You go through the Drow lands at first, and then you cut back north. You go through the Kingdom of Card. You go the most obnoxious way, but these guys stick on you, and you just occasionally lose one to a karst, and they just knock themselves out of the sky and start flying home when they no longer can see you. Eventually, without anyone following you, you meet up with the Kingdom of Lyria's most eastern outpost.
Mm-hmm.
It is at the base of a very tall 20-foot karst. And you know that the Lyrians call it Karst Keep.
Mm-hmm.
And it is relative safety.
And as
you can drop him off here, and it would be an entrance into safety. His choices are his own at that point, but you know he knows he's supposed to stay alive.
Mm-hmm. Well then, yes. As we land at Karst, before letting you go to stay alive, I will fulfill my promise and put you down gently, turn back into a human form, which you would see in front of you not as tall as you, I said, but 6'1", tiefling, dragonborn, somewhere in the middle, as though they've lived too many lives to keep them all straight anymore, and they've just taken parts of them at all times. They have those beautiful horns that extend, that are just the shades of night going from night to day, and just different forms of silver and color, as well as just patchwork scales making up natural armor, and look at you with a very pensive look. They don't look much older than you. In fact, I think you would assume they're the same age, but you can tell by the eyes that this person is far, far older than anything would betray on their skin, and would go, well, if you really want, I'm happy to mark you as Broken Horn, whatever it was, Conrad Shatterhorn or something of the like. I'll get it right eventually, but you've been Plan B for a while, and I need to change that. But do know it's going to hurt.
Nothing compares to the fact of being related to that lump of flesh.
Fair. What did you do wrong? You mentioned a tiefling woman. How bad can it be to love someone?
Apparently the utmost sin.
Well,
And all she did was sit there and share a passion. Creativity, if you will. As he looks and jingles the set of tools at his belt.
Mm-hmm. Sounds as though your father continues to lack any ounce of originality, ingenuity, thought, concept, belief, anything that makes what we have to deal with anyway. And we'll
what we would call a brain.
Well, people can have their own wits about them, and people have their own brains. Your father just happens to have nothing of Redeem. If he did, well, one, I wouldn't be easily invited to your own destruction, and also, he would have taken my castle by now. He hasn't. He won't. He can do whatever the hell he wants, but trust me, I have enough alliances and negotiations and pacts in place that the second he tries, as I said, he's quite outnumbered. But if you would like, I will remove the horn.
Just break the tips.
Okay. And with one hand, will ready cure wounds, and with the other hand, and he doesn't seem like he's muscular and fit, but he does not seem like one-handed. He can break a demon's horn, and you just feel a very tight grasp, and you see just the muscle bulge in a way that is inhumane, as just with a flick of a wrist, one comes off and immediately heals you on that side, and then swaps the other hand, breaks it off and immediately heals you on that side, and then hands you the shards of your horn. They are after you. They're planning to collect whoever can turn these in. They're your choice to make.
At that point, he'll sit there and take the edge of the one horn and take from the top of his left ear right above it and literally draw to the bottom of his chin. To add another
Reminder.
Reminder, but kick back at his father.
Well, your life is yours to do as you wish. If you're doing it for love, I am more than happy to aid you. Anyway, you know how to find me, I presume. I haven't made any real secret, and I'm sure you've been told about my castle and my family and all that. Being the princeling you are, I'm sure it's no secret to you as you are no secret to me. But if you need me, get in
I've
contact.
had to fix up a couple demons that tried to take your castle.
Yeah, like I said, it's ill-advised, but... Anyway, anything you need now, or are you ready to be a free man?
Any knowledge of where Vexia Seaflame might be?
As I said, the name's familiar, but there are... Well, I don't know how much... Well, for the last while I've been gathering names, and it can be quite hard to keep them straight, but I'll get it to you. Do you know where you're headed? Do you plan to stay at this keep? It would take only a couple days. I can get you at least a crumb sent to this keep.
That's fine by me. I'm sure I can make connections in here and make a little coin while I'm at it.
Well, do that and don't die. Partially because you're my backup plan, and I need you around Princeling. Or Conrad, sorry. I'll grow out of it. You've been on paper as backup plan for a while, so habits change. But don't die.
I can't die yet.
Yeah.
I have to find her or kill him first.
One is much easier. If killing him was that easy, he'd have died centuries ago. But, as I said, backup plan. Well, with that, best of luck. I'll be in contact, or someone will be in contact, and I'm sure our paths will cross again, but do try your best not to get killed. People around here are already suspicious enough of everyone. And granted, this is the nice part of the country and nothing like our home, but, well, don't make it like our home.
I want a better home. And if I kill him and take over, it'll be one.
Yeah.
If anything, I'll repay this debt by making sure the demons actually work together with your federation or conglomerate.
Have you ever heard the saying, start small?
I have,
So
but
maybe
I'm a
do
creator.
That. Even creators. And he'll start casting, like, just a storm in the sky. And it's like, even this most destructive thing can come from the smallest little rain cloud. And as he says that, you just see it start growing to being like a 40-foot radius, and then just lightning starts striking at random trees before fading away, being like...
Inside the keep, you hear people, "Get inside! The storm's brewing! Came out of nowhere!" And just everyone starts slamming doors and shutting
Shouldn't they
doors.
be asleep? Don't you all sleep during the night? Anyway, it's fine. Again, start small. It'll go much easier. And I'll be back, or I'll send info, or whatever we do, but don't die. Please.
He talks about starting small, but yet he just scared the shit out of all the inhabitants.
If you know what my small was, you would be quaking in your boots standing here even having this conversation.
I might be a peon compared to you, but I will never shake in fear. Because no matter what happens, it's another invention.
Make a charisma saving throw.
Ooh, baby!
You say, "I will never shake in fear." You just feel this sense of dread. It doesn't even change shape. Just stands up taller.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can see him growing in height to be like 2 inches taller than you, enough to show what's happened, leaning hard over, and he just looks down and goes, "There's a lot to learn from fear. You might want to understand that."
Well, that's a 19 plus 3, so 21.
Good for you. What is my saving throw? Only an 18. Good job. Yeah.
But he'll still at least show the respect of the power you actually have, because power begets invention, begets creation, and everything starts from something small.
Yes. Good job, Princeling. And with that, we'll just like jump into the sky and fly off again.
And at this, the guards come out, surround you, and say, "What are you doing? Why are you here by yourself, tiefling?"
He'll look down. I'm assuming down.
Yeah. They're mixed races, but yeah, the person talking to you is about a 5.5 foot tall human.
I'm here to make some money. Got any place I can stay?
Oh, plenty. Plenty of opportunities here at Cursed Keep. Come on in and we will get you settled. And at that, as you walk in with them,
I'll take one last look over my shoulder to make sure there's nothing or no one that I can see following me.
perception. And Sylvain can go ahead and make another one on his way, but way through as well.
What is my
Oh, hey, I actually proficient in that.
27.
That
Okay.
is a 21.
21. Perfect. Sylvain, you saw another horde of these rocks coming back through, looking. They don't know where he is, but you see them looking. And
If I can,
go
I
for
think
it.
on that 21, not far enough away, but still far enough to hear, you would hear the strange sound of a dragon starting to do a breath weapon of some kind, and you don't see anything. You just hear the sound of swords clattering against each other and the screams of rocks as they bleed to death and fall from the sky.
Sounds like a good time just happened as I throw up my black cloak and hood.
And you enter Karst's Keep, and I think that's where we're going to end for the night.